metas change and teams change and whatever, but that kind of loss streak of 10, that's got to have played on their mind, surely.
Absolutely.
And they've ended it straight away, like, get rid of that.
Yep, and it's like Optic coming in, knowing they're kind of the underdogs on paper. They're just playing with nothing to lose. They have this big loss streak against VP. Hey, gone out the window. Hey, VP, can you beat us now? It's going into Game 2, I would say Optic definitely favored.
Yeah, okay. It's the question I was going to ask you all, actually. Which way does it go now? Because, Virtus Pro are always dangerous when they're behind, Vogt. We know that. But at the same time, this is the lower bracket again. And they've got that whole streak in the back of their head. Oh, we don't do very well in the lower bracket at TI. We've had a bad run last year. Is it happening again? All those things, those doubts creep back again.
Yeah, I'm definitely concerned for them, especially with the way that they drafted. Peter, right? PPD steps up. He shows exactly what he wanted to play with here in that last pick trump card.
Yeah.
VP has to be prepared.
Why is it so different, Black, for Virtus Pro? We've seen them dominate tournaments throughout the year, and at points they've looked like they're literally playing with their food. Lions playing with their food because they've been so dominant in particular tournaments, and nonchalant almost, just take it as it comes, play whatever we feel like, ban some random heroes, still win the tournament easily. They've looked unbelievably good in some of those tournaments, and yet this tournament they haven't seemed to be the same Virtus Pro.
And usually I would say it's like about peaking at the right time. But you can't say that. You can't make the statement about Virtus Pro. They have been at the peak like almost the entire season. They were like the most dominant team throughout the entire season, and I don't know. It just seems to be maybe they just like the TI pressure gets to them. I'm not sure. They have not been the same team. We just spoke about Ramses and no one, the centerpieces of the team. I honestly don't know what to say about it because it's very awkward. Like there's no reason why they should be weaker. It's just they are.
All right. Well, both of you have played at TI. Did you play differently? Did you feel like you played differently?
I didn't make it very far, so you made it further than I did.
But group stages.
Group stages, I'd say.
Is it different?
No, I don't think that much different. I don't know. Not really, in particular.
I mean, a lot of the pro players here have said, no, once you get in the booth, it's kind of like you're just playing Dota at home. Yeah. I'm sure some don't feel like that, but most seem like they cope with it perfectly fine.
As you're walking out, you feel the nerves a little bit,
Sure.
but then it's like as soon as you sit down, everything just shuts off and you're just in the game with your group.
But how do you
we're
know,
also
right?
talking about a team that have experienced all of this, and they've been to some of the biggest tournaments all year round, gods. I don't understand how they can suddenly suffer from some nerves.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain, I feel. In a lot of ways, it just is kind of the roller coaster journey a lot of teams go on, something the players talk about. PPD talked about after they lost to Liquid. Some days you're going to play bad and lose. Other days, it's your day and you win.
Yeah.
It's a day-to-day thing. It's really kind of hard to explain, I think, for the teams themselves. And they really just chalk it up to, today wasn't our day.
Right. Yeah, we've seen that for a number of different teams. Maybe it's a question we can ask Shiva under the scoop.
Well, I have two questions that I will answer, and actually some of them are regarding Virtus Pro as well. So, hello. It is What's the Scoop with Shiva, #TI8Scoop. If you have any questions, I'll get to the bottom of them. And I have, as said, two questions with a couple of different answers from different players. The first one was a question is, Dota 2, very emotional game. There's lots of ups and downs. And if you are in a match like that, you can only imagine emotions running very high or very low. How do players wind down after games like that? For AOI, it is going over the replay and figuring out why that game was so up and down and really understanding what made that game how it was. Former professional CIS player Smile, he listens to classical music before and after the match to just get zen, get all even in the mood again. And for no one from Virtus Pro, if he had a heavy game, he has just the mental fortitude to just snap of a button and everything is in the right mindset again to go again and reset and just do what it takes to win the next game. A lot of different answers for that one. There was also another question. What was the most memorable gift a fan has ever gave you? And I asked, I have answers of four players, well, three players, one talent. Pylidai has at some point gotten a IO Arcana plushie, hand-sewn. Pretty impressive. Solo remembers the most, he got a small plush cactus that he got at Epicenter this year, which he's like, okay, cactus, that's great. Fogged actually remembers TI2 when he was playing. He got a very angry koala plushie that he still has and hopefully cherishes. Now another present that gift was given actually to Sir Action Slacks yesterday is probably one of the best ones you've ever had, and I actually have it with me to show you guys. It is Sir Action Slacks as none other than Techies, which I thought was a pretty awesome gift. So a lot of awesome gifts from fans that people get, and this one definitely, yeah, deserves that applause. So yeah, hashtag TI8Scoop. If you have any questions, I will get to the bottom of them. And for now, it is back to Paul on the desk.
Thank you very much. I'm mildly scared by that painting. There's some very lifelike features in there of Sir Action Slacks. That's mildly worrying, I have to say.
It's pretty damn amazing, though.
It's an incredible painting. I'm scared.
We're gonna poke him with this sword.
I'm slightly more scared by that than your koala.
What about the divine symbol? Where Slack's being divine? I think that's pretty scary too for everybody out there.
That's a lie. It's a blatant lie.
Is he actually divine?
It's not a realistic photograph, obviously.
He got 5k MMR.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Boosted.
Boosted hard. Right then. Virtus Pro with some work to do. Optic Gaming, all smiles it seems. Heading, are they, to the top 6 and possibly beyond. Game 2's draft just around the corner. We'll catch up a little bit more on some of these items. I'm intrigued. So you got a koala. What have you been given? What's the thing you remember most being given by a fan?
An anti-mage figurine.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if he was just making that up.
No, they did.
Colour me surprised, gods.
Yeah, as always comes back to the anti.
I was saying it could have been like a harvester or
I mean,
a
at
pair
this
of farm
point,
tools, but no, it had to be an anti.
At this point, it's not even like what I'm doing anymore. It's just
That's what you're known for.
Like I don't play AM for 10 years. I'll still be like, when did you play anti-mage last? I should pick anti-mage here. It's like,
Yeah, no,
I'm cursed.
Yeah,
It's an anti-mage curse.
I don't think it's a curse.
What?
It's a blessing.
Anti-mage blessing.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
I like that one. I like
Gods,
that one.
have you been giving anything fun?
I've got like a lot of cool drawings.
Okay.
The one I remember most is there were these little postcards that just had hand drawings on them. There was one with like some Enchantress stuff on there. Handmade drawings.
Nice. Yeah.
What about your ball?
Nothing really stands. I mean, little bits and pieces, trinkets more than anything else, which are really cool. They're like keepsakes. You can take them and put on the shelf. Lovely, beautiful. I love them. I think my favourite though was a wizard's hat that I got given in South Africa, which had the South African flag in it.
There you go.
I liked it. It was a nice gift.
That's what years get you. You know, you're going to get more gifts. You'll forget
Right.
some of them. And
Forget what?
exactly.
Who are you? Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's move on. Game number 2, just around the corner. We've seen Huskar, we've seen Brood in the previous game between these two, so they can throw some wild stuff out there. I'm not sure if Virtus Pro want to try any of that stuff now, 1-0 down.
No, I think they want to get no one back on a comfort hero, something a bit more playmaky. Seeing him on a DK in game 1 was, I don't know. I'm not sold on it. I like the interesting Shiver scoop about no one, how, you know, he just snaps it off after a loss. I'm not convinced that's no one. That's not the no one you always see in the booth, on his stream. He's a very emotional guy, and I think a loss like that could hit him quite hard.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that. Kuro goes for burgers, apparently.
Goes for burgers.
Burgers.
Apparently.
What kind of
To
burger?
unwind, I don't know, but he goes for burgers.
Like
I'm
triple
intrigued.
patty?
What does Ice do? I feel like he probably just sits down and plays more Dota.
Probably. I mean, he was telling me a story about how he's gotten puked on from his baby, and he's still continuing to play and stuff
Yeah,
like
just
that.
carries
So
on.
he doesn't get phased.
But you can't stop. Like if you're in the middle of a game and a baby pukes on you, you can't just be like pause because everybody will unpause. You gotta finish the game first.
I mean, you can't
Priorities.
stop. To the parents out there playing Dota who have kids, if your kid needs your attention, please, please step away and,
PSA.
you know, go look after your baby, please.
TSA, right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into our second draft of the day.
Okay, so nice.
Virtus Pro versus Optic Gaming. Game 2.
Fogged already getting ahead of himself. He's so excited to get into game number 2's draft.
I was ready to say that I think the second pick, whoever chooses to get second pick, is actually going to be really important in this matchup. It's all about that last pick. It really does seem with a lot of these teams. We saw the last one, that Huskar last pick. I do think the same thing for VP. If they can get one of their not like Trump heroes, but something that no one, or that Ramses can just take over the game by themselves, that's going to be the key to their success versus Optic.
A lot of other games are won and lost in the side lanes. Here, it's CC&C versus no one. It's all about that.
I think for me, the second pick for VP is more about cheese prevention than actually cheesing them. Because, yeah, you don't want to get Huskar again. You don't want to get whatever Optic has planned for them.
All right, Ench banned, IO banned. Interestingly, both played, of course, by Virtus.pro in the first. Spirit opening from Optic, that's exactly what they did in the 2 games against Virtus.pro in the group stages, and Virtus.pro reply with a Willow Tiny, which is what they did in the group stages as well.
Heavy magic burst, heavy control.
Already feels better because of the control. That's the thing that I always want to look at for teams is when you have, especially if you had like a rough game, if things just weren't clicking together. If you got this a lot of heavy amount of stuns, disables, makes the lineup a lot easier to play right off the bat.
Like high potential for outplay. With kind of stunts and slows and everything.
There might have been a partial block pick with that Tiny as well. It's something that Optic have been playing, and they've been the first 2 picking.
Yeah, but actually last game I didn't want to pick it first 2, so maybe changing strategy.
Are they doing any draw strats? I feel like it's a certain few teams will always be first 2, like VGJ, but I wouldn't mind seeing Optic go for something like that here in game 2. They're up 1-0.
If they do, now would be a good time to test the waters with it.
Is that Ursa band?
It is.
It is, all right. Okay.
No.
There we go.
Good call.
I like it. It's like a safe, we did 1 strat game 1. Let's go game 2, they have last pick. So let's just pick this Drow. We're not going to get some X Factor 10th pick to win the game. Drow's just going to give us these strong lanes.
But it's what we spoke about already. No one CC&C, so he's going to have an advantage with a draw aura for sure. So.
Yep.
So a classic combo of Drow Venge for Optic opening.
Although I think nothing can stop 100% no one. But whether he gets to that power level in this game is the question that remains for me. He needs to step out, up now for sure. Might be the last game of the season for him, so. If not now, then when.
So Optic's going to take out those heroes that make Drow's life miserable, that Spectre, that PL probably, or even that the Broodmother's not banned out either. Ooh. You have to watch out for Brood for VP.
Brood was banned for
XR, so what can I say?
How many have we had? We've had like 1 PL.
We've had a couple, I think.
2.
Mushi played one, I remember. It's 0 and 2, I want to say. I don't think it actually won either of the games it was picked.
It's not a great.
Is absolutely on the money.
It's
Played
not
twice,
a great hero.
Lost twice.
Yeah, it's not a great hero.
Right now.
Right now.
Nope.
For Optic right now, I'm also still liking something like a Phoenix, if they can look for that.
They need the position 4 teamfight control hero for sure.
Yeah.
Undying, Phoenix.
Yeah, both are very good versus the Tiny.
Yeah. Of course, VP picked up the Willow already.
Oh, Lich ban.
A Lich.
I'm surprised they're leaving Brood in the pool, because the big issue with Brood is you can pick counters to it, but they're not heroes that normally play in Drow strats. They're mostly melee heroes, like Kunkka. That you're like, your Drow Kunkka just doesn't feel like a normal draft in a lot of ways.
Bane.
Okay.
They banned the TA as well.
Huh. And they're just banning Drow partners, Marana being an obvious flex one that can go mid, off lane, doesn't reveal too much, and TA one of Quinn's best heroes.
Yeah.
this a lot.
And there's the spider. Yep.
And a Brood Mother.
They left it.
I think the Jakiro is almost like a preemptive, soft way of dealing with the Brood. It's not a hard counter by any means, but at least it gives you another catch with the Ice Path, some AoE, some wave clear. It's not... You still got a Brood problem, but it could be worse if you pick some other support.
I think it was like a preparation. They picked this because they were like, all right, either Brood or PL is more than likely to come out, right? Now we're going to have the AoE disable. And also, Jakiro, it's good versus Willow. It's good versus Bane. You have the disable to stop the Willow going for the Shadow Realm TP and the long range disable versus that Bane. And
Alchemist. I am not...
Alchemist Drow.
They're like, we're not really doing a Drow strat, guys. We're backing off.
A lot of people think Alchemist actually counters Brew because you get a lot of gold for the spiders, but it's so hard to kill them. They need to stand still in the acid spray for like, what, 5-6 seconds? It's not going to happen. Not in this kind... Not when you play against Ramses.
It's a matchup that goes back and forth too, right? Like as the game progresses.
Yeah.
The Alchemist, once you hit like that 30-minute mark, you're that beast. But if the game progresses late, takes over, and you can actually kill the Alchemist in a one-on-one pretty easy.
It's quite scary though, the lane, right? I think Brutus is going to deny every creep. And you can't really kill the Spiderlings too easily, I think. You need 2 hits per Spiderling.
First few levels should be okay for the Alch though, right? Like the first 3, he should be able to get a decent amount in the wave, but then as those spiders start building up, you should see the Brood take over.
Do you think it's worth it? Because I think there's like level 4 or 5 maybe, that can one-hit the little spiders with a right-click. Do you think is it worth it? I haven't honestly played the matchup. I just know.
Here's the thing. Quinn, I feel like, must have, because they left the Brood in the pool. They almost baited them into thinking they're doing a Drow strat and then got Alch. So this feels very telegraphed from Optic. They intentionally gave VP Brood, knowing they could get Alchemist.
And I think this is from the second game that they played in the group stages where they played the Brood against them.
Did they have the same Alchemist versus Brood? Okay.
No. But I think the idea is maybe Peter thinks, maybe they'll Brood a second game and we'll need a plan for that.
Yep.
I had Wraith King, a Weaver, and a Silencer in that game. We've gone a slightly different route this time around, of course.
Then we get baited and support Alchemist. And we're like...
Support Drow Alch.
I wonder, do you guys think Jakiro, Venge are both...
PPD both played the Venge throughout TI. They can both play it very well. They can play it as a strong...
Just destroy Alchemist. I imagine that's the idea behind that ban.
Yeah. I'm not sure if VP really plays a Huskers, though. Play whatever anyway.
Yeah, they'll play everything.
Okay.
Tiny off lane, maybe safe lane. No one's Tiny is really good.
I think with the back and putting that Brood elsewhere.
Okay.
Might still be Bloodseeker safe lane.
No, let's get 60 seconds of stats from a professional.
Red. The story of this Game 2 draft has to be the Drow Ranger on the side of Optic against the Brood. Minute mark in the last game to hit 5K net worth. That has only happened to him 11 times in over 900 previous career games, but he's going to have a favorable lane matchup. We saw the Bloodseeker against the Alchemist last night, a level 10 versus a level 5, absolutely dominate that matchup. Don't forget, though, although heavily countered, that Ramses Broodmother on the side of Virtus Pro. Ramses is 15-8 career. He has the highest gold per minute on that hero of any player with 10 games all time. Guys, sending you out for Game 2, the #1 team in the DPC, 4-time major champion, has their backs against the wall at TIA. Toby, One, and Cinder, and take it away.
Thank you very much, Professor Oak. The Broodmother is super effective when in the hands of Ramses. Will it be the same time this round? Like, the panel seemed to be like, oh, maybe it's a little bit too heavily counted. What do you think, Sint?
I think it's a pretty good Brood game. And I think most importantly in this game, it doesn't feel like VP are significantly behind in the draft. You could say at worst, maybe
as opposed to last game.
Yeah, last game was tough. Especially with the way they laned it. But this time around, I think the options that VP has are good enough. And I was surprised to hear that Broodmother has lost 3 games to Drow in the group stage. This is one of the historically best heroes against Drow